All right, that's a perfect 10. Welcome to The Notebook. I am Austin Ward, and we're joined right away by Kyle McCord, who doesn't have a backpack for me to ask him about. A career night for you, a career Marvin Harrison celebrating a rushing touchdown. You said this is something that you've been waiting for a while. Mm-hmm. What brought it about tonight, you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just the preparation and practice. I feel like we had a really good week. We cut down on some of the reps. I think Coach Day said that earlier. Yeah. And I think that allowed us to play fast. We were efficient in practice, and I think we were efficient in the game too. So I think it's just a combination of having a good week and knowing exactly what we need to do and start fast.
How much does it help just to be back at home? The last 2 weeks were a grind. We talked about that as you were leaving the stadium. Does it feel different? Is the energy different? Are you able to rest better in a week like this, or tonight maybe?
Yeah, no, I think playing at home is definitely an advantage. I think first the crowd, playing with that crowd, not having to do silent cadence is huge, and the energy I feel like is just contagious. And then I think, like you said, cutting the travel part out of it, I think it just allows the guys to kind of rest and play a step faster.
All right, what do you want to eat the rest of this weekend?
Probably some pizza.
Pizza,
like that.
All right, pizza.
Jay letting you get down to Cincinnati and see CJ tomorrow?
Ooh, what time they play? No.
I believe he's got practice for him. So the man behind the camera, he just wants to go to the Bengals game. So that's all right. All right, get out of here. Congratulations, Kyle McCord.
Appreciate it, Buckeyes.
All right, off and rolling. Again, perfect 10 for Ohio State, 10-0. They improve with a 38-3 win over the Michigan State Spartans. A buzz in the air in here. Caroline's cranking out the story right now. What did you think? Big win?
Harrison Jr.
For Heisman?
Yeah.
He's got your vote? Caroline Rice's vote. He goes for Marvin Harrison. All right. That man, number 18, had 3 touchdowns. The first rushing touchdown of his career to get things rolling on just a beautifully designed end around, reverse, orbit motion, fake counter. I don't know. There were like 15 different things going on. One of the more, creative play calls we've seen from Ohio State all season. And then he had a couple conventional, everybody clearing out. It is a late Saturday night. This game was actually over about 5 hours ago. Not a lot of resistance, and the Buckeyes got the kind of fast start. Kyle McCord had said that during his press conference that they had been waiting for all year and building for it. They got it. Could they have wound up winning by more than 35 tonight? Yeah, if they needed to or wanted to, which they did not. I asked Ryan Day about, managing that at this point. I mean, if this had been September, keep getting guys reps, keep pushing the tempo. Didn't need to do that. The busiest man right there in Columbus. Oh, there's 2 of them, both of them. Compliance, 7-Eleven. The man, I had some interesting conversations during the week about
That's pretty good, huh, Jack? How's it feel?
What was going on with compliance. Have you seen some of that reporting? Here we go. Got pizza. Another one that's just like the biggest delivery box of all time. How about that? So Ohio State had to look in because Michigan accused them of stealing signs and helping Purdue. So Ohio State's compliance department was asked, Big Ten, hey, what's going on here? Can you guys address what's happening? And they asked all the coaches. They checked phone records. They checked email records. Nothing happened after Ohio State played Michigan and before Purdue had an opportunity to play them. So strange. Gosh. Several people that I talked to were like, well, if that did happen, we'd really like to know how that happened and what they told them. Classic Michigan deflection. Anyway, that's Ohio State managing compliance. That has nothing to do with a game that happened here against the Spartans tonight. Ohio State just electrifying. That first quarter, you can pick any number of players that stand out, but obviously the Heisman Trophy candidate, you start there. The rushing touchdown, coming back, 2 perfect throws from Kyle McCord to get him into the end zone in the first half as well through the air. And this game was just over in the blink of an eye. So it was 14-0 at the end of 1, 35-3 at halftime, and then you could just tell like Ohio State's Cade's over, out of the game. You don't need to do anything else. Travion Henderson, no more work. They really, if they wanted to get Marvin one more touchdown there, you could tell as part of that Heisman Trophy campaign. That was maybe the one just slightly underthrown that Kyle McCord had to him down there in the corner of the north end zone. They settle for that field goal. They push it to 38-3, and then it's like, all right, start the clock, let it run. and get out of town. A bunch of younger guys played. So as I skip ahead here to that second half, I'm going to give Sonny Styles that second quarter for the blitz, a nice little sack. It was kind of started on the interior. It looked like Hero Kanu kind of shifted over. It wasn't a stunt, just like drawing attention to the left as he was in the game there at defensive tackle. The gap opens, Sonny Styles hits it, big sack. Kind of one of the first times that Michigan State looked like they might put together a little bit of a drive. Then that, wound up setting the stage for a really impressive and efficient 2-minute drive for Ohio State. That one was finished off with a back shoulder, like perfect place ball. Only Cade Stover could catch that one from Kyle McCord. Welcome back to Cade Stover, by the way. He gets 1/2, and it's about as efficient as you can possibly make it. He changes everything when he's back out there. He is a difference maker. He helps in the run game, and obviously he was ready to go out there and be a target again. He's still not at full strength. His roommate Tommy Eichenberg was missing, did not play. Looked like he was being tortured tonight. I joked with him before kickoff, like, man, this has got to be your hell. You're not allowed to go play football. You have to watch your guys. And he said, yeah. So quote him on that one. I don't feel bad doing that. Then the third quarter, where I'm normally trying to fill out, like, who should I give the star of the quarter for the notebook, I wrote a big question mark and then boring. That's not fair to the guys that are out there competing, and there were a lot of younger guys that I was interested to see, but the scoring stopped. Ryan Day was managing this game out. They're 2 weeks away, right now from the game. They want to be as healthy as possible. They don't need style points against Michigan State. And even if they did, all you have to do is put on the film for the first half. That was the most complete half I think we've seen from Ohio State, at least to start a game. They've had really impressive second halves, and they've been strong when it comes to putting games away down the stretch. They just did that last week at Rutgers. Maybe didn't get enough credit for doing that in a tough fight there, but Byrne brought it up in the pregame keys. Got to see Ohio State go out there and do it and assert themselves from the start. They did that. Part of that is Ryan Day was talking about Kyle McCord. He finished, by the way, 24 for 31, 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's pretty good. And Day said that the game is slowing down and the feet were good. So that's been a big talking point recently for him when it comes to the mechanics and the consistency for Ohio State at quarterback. And I think you could tell that Kyle started the game in a rhythm, and there was no lapse. There was no getting confused by the looks Michigan State was throwing. There was no issues being consistent with the football placement. He was sharp from the duration. Are there one or two that could have been maybe better? Sure, I mentioned the one that could have been the 4th touchdown for Marvin Harrison there in the third quarter, but you're never going to be 100 for 100. You're not going to complete every single pass you throw, and that's not a reasonable expectation. Ohio State got everything. Hey, Barb. Hey, photography crew shutting it down. Oh, you got it. I will. So you could tell that Ryan Day was a lot more pleased with that start and the way that he executed. Kyle McCord did. So in the fourth quarter, Kyle McCord's still in there. He gets them across midfield on a drive, and then that's it. Your job is done. And lo and behold, we see Lincoln Kienholz making his Ohio State debut. Devin Brown tonight going through pregame warmups. Again, this was my observation. I didn't ask anything about it. I thought that he looked like he was laboring a lot more and walking more gingerly than he did even a week ago against Rutgers. The training staff was watching him. He wasn't taking part in some of the other drills. He did throw once the Buckeyes got in pads, but he was clearly not ready to play tonight. Wasn't listed on the availability report. Neither was Tristan Gebbia. Both of them were considered options if need be, but when they needed to make a change there, or wanted to make a change to get Kyle McCord out and stay fresh, they went to Lincoln Kienholz. He completed his first 2 passes with the Buckeyes. The first, little glimpse into the future perhaps. Play action, roll out, Jelani Thurman, who then bowls over a defender. I don't think anyone would ever want to volunteer to tackle Jelani Thurman. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Jerry! We're gonna ask Jerry about this Heisman Trophy campaign. Come here, sir. Right here. Tell tell the world on the notebook your inspiration for the Heisman Trophy campaign that is sweeping the nation.
My inspiration was Marvin Harrison Jr.
Here comes the sun. That just it's a lightning bolt from above.
No, I was thinking and pondering one Monday about 3 weeks ago, and I just decided to Google famous Harrisons. And you get to them, and of course George Harrison is right there at the top, and I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Because he was a Beatle, and the Beatles are cool, and
the coolest.
Yeah, the coolest.
They have a new song out.
And the best, just the best. Yes, and they do have a new song. And so then I'm on some Harrison pages, and I just decided, all right, what about his songs? So I start looking at his songs. I go down this top 20, and I get down to a song towards the bottom, and it was "Here Comes the Sun."
Do-do-do-do.
Here comes the sun.
And you loved it. So this is the one.
My palms started sweating. It was just like, this is it. This is really perfect. We all know, he's the son of a NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Sr. And I just thought, yeah, we gotta use this as the foundation of our campaign for the best player in America.
Love it. All right, we have to talk about it. So take that pizza, deliver it up to the press box.
Okay.
Thank you for stopping, Jerry.
Hey, you're welcome.
All right. All right, Jerry Imig, leading the campaign there, pushing the campaign. Some of the thought process there for Ohio State is interesting because they've been generally reticent to embark on some of these campaigns and push one guy over. You think like, well, if you had the year when Justin Fields and Chase Young both go as Heisman Trophy finalists, like they're not going to just launch a campaign for one of them. Or other years where Dwayne Haskins, for instance, they may put out some graphics late in November, but they have receivers that they think are really good, or running backs. Like they don't want to show favorites at Ohio State. That's been their approach. And quarterbacks don't tend to need a boost to get into a Heisman Trophy race, especially not at Ohio State. Everybody sees their games and sees their stats. Dwayne probably deserved more credit for his year, and I think would have been a legitimate winner. Is that because Ohio State didn't put out a cool magnet for him? No, it didn't have anything to do with it probably. But Marvin's case is different. He's a wide receiver. It is much more difficult for them at that position. It is typically, not all the time, generally goes to a quarterback on the best team or one of the best teams in the country. So Marvin calling a little bit more attention to it. They launched that a week ago at Rutgers. He had the 2 touchdowns there and adds 3 more tonight. I mean, the guy is playing at just an otherworldly level right now, and it is fun to watch. All right, so I mentioned that Tommy Eichenberg did not play. Ohio State considers him week to week. What does that mean? The forearm elbow situation, if today was the game, I still don't think there's any way that he would not have played. They think he'll be back soon. I would be surprised if he doesn't get some work next week against Minnesota, but we'll see. Josh Proctor didn't play. He had the concussion a week ago, so they held him out for 1 more week. Ohio State again considers that a situation where he could be back really soon, to quote Ryan Day. The prognosis and an updated timeline for Lathan Ransom, probably not as encouraging. I talked to several people after seeing Lathan on the scooter coming out before warm-ups. He had a huge, walking boot. I don't know if it's huge. It's a normal size walking boot. Let's say that. Doesn't look like he is going to be back for any point in the regular season. At this point, that was what was indicated to me. Ryan Day said it looks like it's more of a long-term issue. We had thought, and we had been told, that the initial diagnosis, Ohio State felt confident that he might be able to get back by next week or for the game. At this point, I would say that now appears more unlikely, if not impossible. But we'll see what happens there. They like to protect that injury information. They do a good job of that. That's the best that I could glean from that situation. That it doesn't look good. Cameron Martinez was questionable as part of that continued banged up secondary He did not play, wasn't dressed. He's had a hamstring issue that's been slowing him down this year. But Ohio State gets back on the offensive side to full strength, and Ryan Day was really raving about that and what that means to have Cade Stover, to have Emeka Ibuka back, to have Travion running the way he did in the first half. So good stuff there. And, there wasn't a whole lot else to break down. Ohio State handled the business that it was supposed to. This was a get-right opportunity, and they did get right with a 35-point win that was really never in doubt once the game started. 38-3 was the final over the Michigan State Spartans. Hope you enjoyed the latest edition of the Notebook, number 10 in the books. Ohio State still 10-0. They are number 1 in the country. They've got 2 weeks left in the regular season. Huge shout out to Berm behind the camera again. I'm Austin Ward. Thanks for joining us for the Notebook. Talk to you again on this show next week after Minnesota.